Hello pen friends, it's JK Pens. This is our second to last pen in the inexpensive Demonstrator series. We're now at the upper end of the price range at $20. This is the PenBBS, where is it? PenBBS 266. It's a really, really nice pen, especially at the price point. It's in the same torpedo style as the Sailor 1911 large. It's actually a smidge longer than the 1911 large. And here it is next to the Jinhao 992. It's quite a bit bigger than the 992. And I don't know how much of this you can really see on the video, but the quality is just a step up. There's no weird little plug in the bottom of the barrel. This is really nice. If this is cast, they've done a really nice job or molded, they've done a really nice job of cleaning it up. Might even be turned. The acrylic just feels better than the plastic. Like, this feels like a quality pen. This feels like a pen that if it was from the US or Germany would be significant, or Japan would be significantly more expensive than what PenBBS retails for. So, really nicely done. You can see the finial is actually threaded on, not just with some Home Depot style screw as we saw with some of the pens. So yeah. That's a really nice touch. The pen comes with a converter, and as a nice touch, it's a converter with an agitator inside it, which you don't see a whole lot on less expensive pens. That helps keep the ink flowing. It is not branded, but it's a nice converter. However, the barrel does have the section does have an O-ring here where it meets the barrel. This pen just begs to be eyedroppered. It's really just a lovely pen. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to eyedropper it. We're going to ink it with this Troublemaker Kelp Tea. The Troublemaker bottles aren't nearly as lovely as their overwraps, so I took it out of the paper overwrap. This is a really interesting ink, very hard to match to a pen. Hey, clear Demonstrator to the rescue. Okay, so we're going to get a good dose. We're going to see how much we can get in there. So I'm going to draw up 4 mils. I've sort of given up protecting this work surface. I'll have to put a new sheet down. Interesting note, or not interesting, but just a fact, this is freezer paper, which turns out to be a pretty nice work surface over my glass desktop. So here we go. How much do we get in there? Holy smokes. We got, with some room to spare, 3 mils. Yeah, so that ink is much darker than I realized, but that's okay. It's not dark when written, but it's dark in the pen. Okay, so you can see the ink sloshing in the barrel there. I got kind of a large fill. It would probably be more interesting if I hadn't filled it so much. Ooh, look at that beautiful kind of olive color. It does have a opaque. Actually, this is, I don't know if it's Yovo compatible or anything like that, but it's very similar to those feeds. And this is the first pen that has a proper number 6 nib on it. So that gives you a whole bunch of options should you not like the PenBBS nib. Okay, so we're going to get some ink down in there. Grab another sheet of paper. And let's see, did we get it writing? Yep, okay, cool. So this is the PenBBS 266. This ink does write fairly light in my limited experience with it so far, so I don't think you should blame the pen for that. It's interesting. Oops, I got red ink on my finger from a previous pen. Let me try this finger. It's writing a little dry. I would say not like, maybe this ink just dries really fast because it doesn't feel dry. This is kind of puzzling. And it doesn't look dry on the page, but boy, does that ink dry quickly. Another of the Troublemaker inks, the Blueberry, dries like super quickly too. So, because it looks like I'm saturating it. Anyways, it's totally legible and it's a adequate writing experience. I had another PenBBS pen. I actually have a couple, and I always found their nibs to be just okay. But again, it's easy enough to swap in a different number 6 nib. You can squeeze some line variation and a little more flow out of this nib. Should you want to. But I think the big thing for me with this pen is just it looks really nice. Like, this pen looks like it costs more than it did, and that's a big plus. And of course, it holds a lot of ink, and you can see it sloshing around. It's also at $20, like I said, at the high end of the range for this video series, but it might be worth it. Like, if you want to put ink in a pen to carry and to use on a regular basis in a place where you actually care about how the pen looks and feels, this would definitely be an upgrade over almost any of the pens that we've seen so far. So that's it. That's the PenBBS 266 Demonstrator. One more pen to go. Bye-bye.